What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another live. That's right, tonight we are doing another DeeRC live stream just for you. But what I'm going to call this is the DeeRC. But what we're going to call this is the DeeRC movie night. That's right, I got my little bugs worked out for my movies. That way I can sit there and show you these things actually running around in the front yard, and you can get an idea of how fast they are and how tough they are, and it's going to be a really good time. Now, I've been having all kinds of audio problems, so if you're watching from any platform whatsoever, let me know how good, how bad, or how terrible it may sound, just so I have a little input and I can make some adjustments. That way, you know, if the background music's too loud or if sound effects are too loud. I haven't played any sound effects. Let's try this one. How about this? Drum roll. Can you hear the drum roll? Is it too loud? Is it too crazy? Somebody drop a comment and let me know. And then we're going to get into doing some unboxings. Well, all this stuff's already been unboxed, but I'm just going to show you each car, and then after I show you each car, and I have a boat and I have a drone, I'm going to actually play you a video of that vehicle running around doing what it's supposed to do. I see two people on Amazon. How does this sound? Is everything bearable? Does it sound terrible? Other than my voice, you know, is the background music right? You know, is the sound effects blaring you away? I'm just trying to figure all this out. So if it's something wrong with it, just let me know. But the first vehicle that we're going to look at today is going to be one that is actually unavailable right now. It's out of stock, but what I understand, there's hundreds more coming into stock. And so I want to show it to you anyway, because it's probably one of my all-time favorite RC vehicles to date. And that is going to be the DeeRC 2104. And what this is a boat, of course, right? This boat does 30 miles an hour, a true 30 plus miles an hour. The hull is completely waterproof. It's got the brass shafts. You have your little rudders in the back. You have your main steering rudder. This is very similar to what a hobby grade boat would be. It's water cooled. We're going to open it up. We're going to look in it. It's got LEDs. It's got all kinds of stuff. But what I'm going to show you, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to pop the top off this little boat real quick. And I want to turn it on for you, and I want you to hear how much power is coming out of this little propeller right here, because it's pretty impressive. And this RC boat can be going wide open, 30 miles an hour, and if you turn right, it's going to do a 90-degree turn on the water without rolling. This thing is amazing in the water. Completely caught me off guard. Because when this thing flips upside down, it self-rights. It'll roll itself right back over. So my plan was, I'm going to cut a hard turn to try to get it to roll, to test the righting, to see if it's going to roll back over. And I couldn't get it to flip, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how many hard turns I made. You'd have to put this in the ocean with some pretty nice waves to try to get it to actually flip over and roll over. All right, so we got the boat plugged in. We got the controller turned on, and you can see you have the nice bright LEDs in the front and in the back. And what's good about these LEDs is if you're cruising around and your battery gets low, they're going to start flashing, and you're going to get an audible notification on your controller to let you know that your battery is getting low and you need to return home. That's a very nice feature to have. But you can also turn the LEDs off if you don't want them on with just a simple push on the controller. But the reason why we're turning this on is I'm going to show you how quick this little thing spins. And it is proportionate. It does have reverse. This is a really, really good boat. Probably the best boat you're going to get for under $100 bucks. Here, let's go. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. But that's not it. As in the famous words of Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. You have reverse, of course. But man, oh man, this thing really rips on the water for sure. So what I'm going to do is, since this is the DeeRC movie night, let me unplug this so I don't accidentally hit no buttons. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring up the video from my review of this boat cruising in a pond, just so you can see how fast it is and how capable this little boat is. All right, y'all ready? We're going to add it.
All right, so it's raining a little bit, but we're out in the front yard with the DeeRC 9300. Check it out. Roads are slippery.
Hold up, wait a minute. Sorry about that. Let me add the proper video here. Man, rookies. So new at this. Okay, here's the correct video. We're gonna go ahead and bring it on. All right, so here's the boat. They say that it cannot capsize, so we're gonna find out. And look at there. True to saying, it flipped itself right over. So now we're gonna get the controller. I'm gonna try to hold the camera to drive this and steer at the same time. We'll see how this works out. And wow, this thing scoots and it handles amazing. This thing we'll get this all figured out. So what did you think of the 2104? Did you think it was quick? Did it look capable to you? This thing is zippity-doo-dah fast. I love it. The whole time I drove it, you get about 15 minutes runtime. This is your battery right here. It's a 3S battery. And the whole time I ran it, I did not get a single drop of water inside the hull of this boat. And if you look in here, you can see you have a nice little brush motor right here. You have your water cooling lines and your cooling block to keep everything nice and cool. All your electronics are over here, and they are waterproof electronics. So if you get water in there, it's not the end of the world, but you do definitely want to dry it out when you get home. And then up here in the little top corner here is your servo. And DeeRC, they do give you a parts list inside the manual of this boat. Therefore, you can get parts for it if you need them. And because this is more of like a hobby grade boat, I'm pretty sure that you could probably just find off-the-shelf parts that would probably fit it as well, because it's pretty common parts for a boat. It's nothing extraordinary or strange. They make it easy to work on your stuff. They want you to be able to fix your RC if you break it. Unlike big box stores, you break it and you're done. You might as well throw it away. But I'm going to show you this manual real quick. And you can see right here, They have all the different parts listed. And then they, of course, have the contact information, the manufacturer address. So they give you a way to contact them with the parts list so you can order the stuff that you need if you break something. So it's a very cool little boat. I'm not going to use the whole night on this. I'm going to be showing you the 9500E in a minute. In the video of that one, I actually jumped it off the roof of my house, as you might see some other people do to test strength and durability. I figure why not? Let's try it. It held up just fine, but I do want to show you that video. Let me get all this stuff out the way. But before we jump off and we get into the whole 9500E, we're going to start with one of my all-time favorites, and it's going to be this little fellow right here. This is the DeeRC 9300. This is like a 16th, 18th scale, but this thing is more hobby grade than toy grade. It's extremely fast. It's four-wheel drive. It pulls wheelies. It can run through all types of grass. Let's open it up, take a look at it. You'll see some wear and tear on this one because this is one that I actually drive. And let's just get all this stuff out. I try to keep everything together in boxes so I know what came with what. And here's the little fellow right here. Let me add a little light for you. There you go. But here he is. Little 9300. It's four-wheel drive. It has the Lexan body that's resistant to impact, plus it's lighter, so you're going to get more speed because it's less weight. The body is replaceable, so if you do destroy this body, you can order another one. It's not the end of the world. Where if you buy a normal ready-to-run RC from a big box store, as I like to say, and you crack the body or you break something, you're just done. It's over. You might as well throw it away. Here's the inside. You can see you have the brush motor right here, your speed controllers right here. And what's cool about this little one, it's fast as it is, but if you really wanted to upgrade this over time, you could. You have a nice little micro servo right here for your steering. If you look in the front, hello Fishy Comics, what's up? And hello Mark. Somebody let me know how this sounds. If it sounds terrible, if it sounds bad. I have sound effects loaded, like this air horn. Tell me if it was like overpowering. Can you hear the background music? Can you not hear the background music? Just let me know. But anyway, this is a little fella on the inside. If you come to the front, you can see it does have coilover shocks. They are just spring loaded. These are not oil shocks, but you do have a differential, a complete differential in the front, and you have steel output shafts. The little dog bones in the front are a stainless steel. And then you also have, running along the side here, a stainless steel drive shaft that connects to the rear differential, which the rear differential is also independent as well. And it has the stainless dog bones as well. So how cool is that? This little dude flies. It is probably one of the fastest RCs that I have. It even outruns a lot of stock 10 scales and bigger cars. It's just zippity doo dah, as I say. This thing's pretty quick. It holds up really well. We wrecked it a lot. My 3-year-old's crashed it, and he's in the chat, Mark. Crashed it into his truck a million times. It's still here. No broken parts. So really nice little truck. You do get 2 battery packs with it, just like so. And altogether, you'll get 40-45 minutes between the 2 batteries. They throw you some spare parts in there. They give you the charger. Now, I have a big dual touchscreen charger that I use, but they do include the USB charger as well. And they give you extra body pins and extra screws and things like that. So very cool. I found out what part of my problem last night was. If you watched last night, the audio was everywhere. It was a total disaster. And I was trying to use wireless headphones with a Bluetooth transmitter off of my little soundboard that I just got. I just got an El Cheapo one because I'm learning all this stuff and I'm trying to make it more exciting. You know, that way if somebody starts following me, I can be like, let's celebrate, they're following me, you know? Or when I open a box, I can do the, you know what I mean? Just, I'm trying to figure out ways to make it more fun because, you know, I'm kind of a boring person. But anyway, the little cars here, you get some extra, it looks like differentials and stuff. You get some extra screws. You get the little Allen tool for working on it. They give you a bag to carry all this stuff in. It's a nice little ripstop nylon bag. You get the wheel key and you get a Phillips screwdriver. They just give you all kinds of cool stuff and accessories. And just like with the 2104, the boat, you can order parts for this as well. And because this one has been out for a while, I mean, this one has over 6,000 reviews on Amazon. It's a well-liked little vehicle. A lot of these parts are already available on Amazon. So how cool is that, right? Making life easy for us. Got to appreciate that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the video, this little car just buzzing around so you can see how fast it is.
All right, so it's raining a little bit, but we're out in the front yard with the DeeRC 9300. Check it out. Roads are slippery.
I'm cruising this little car around too. If you look at the bottom of the screen, there are discount codes scrolling through. Here's the actual link to the car itself. And I already uploaded the 20% off that you get if you buy this vehicle.
Let's try it out in the grass.
I was talking to you. But anyway, I've already uploaded the promos. The promos are on. You're going to get 15 to 20% off most of these vehicles, so just click on it, it'll take you to the cart, and it'll tell you what your discount is. Let's keep watching the little 9300. Hello, guest. What's up? Welcome to the live. Right now we're running the DeeRC 9300. It's this little 16 scale or 18 scale car, four-wheel drive, steel drive shaft all the way around, steel drive shaft down the center. It's got two differentials. It's more of a hobby grade than a toy grade. As you can see, it's pretty quick. It's pretty capable. In a second, we're going to be following it around, jumping through some tall grass.
Should we try to do the old backflip? See if this is a good backflip tree.
Don't do the backflip.
I don't think it is. But we're going to try it anyway. Nope, not enough of a ramp. Anyway, you can see this little car can handle thinner grass. My neighbor has really thick grass. It can even go through that to a point. But when I say his grass is thick, it's up to your ankles.
Okay, so I think we get the point of this little DeeRC. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one down. We're going to get back So that's the DeeRC 9300. Super fun little car, great for bashing in the neighborhood. Because of its small scale, a small yard seems like a huge desert. You got plenty of room for running around in it, where if you're running a 10 scale or 8 scale, you run out of real estate really, really fast. So it's a great little car for just jumping out and buzzing around the yard and jumping curbs and doing those kinds of things. On the day that I was running it here, it was super wet and slippery, and I got to do all kinds of crazy donuts. But when it's dry, it will actually pull the wheels off the ground and do some pretty cool stuff as well. So we're going to move on to the very next one, and I'm going to let's try this one out right here. And next we have, wait, I can do this one too. We have the DeeRC 9500E. Okay, so the DeeRC 9500E, this is more on the toy side than on the hobby side, but once again, it's still a very capable four-wheel drive vehicle. It's got this super cool Lexan body that's really flexible for crashes and bashes, and even the little body clips on it have these little rubber pull tabs. If you have larger fingers like I do and you have a hard time pulling them, makes life just so much easier. You can buy parts for these things. This is actually one of DeeRC's newest models. They just came out with this, I think, a week ago. So super cool little vehicle. And this is the one that I actually jumped off the roof, and it's still in one piece. We're going to see that happen here in just a moment. So you might want to watch this thing bail off the roof. But you have the super fat tires. There's no foam in here. They're just air-filled tires. You have the bumper with the headlights in the front. And like I said, it is a true four-wheel drive. We're going to pull these body pins off. We're going to take a look, peek under the cover, and here it is. Now, if you know RC cars, you're going to see something right away that might be kind of different about this car than most that you get, and that is the fact that it has two heat sinks because it has two different motors. You have a front differential and you have the rear differential, but they're not connected with a drive shaft. They're actually independent motors, one motor for the front and one motor for the rear. Now it does come with the 2S battery pack. It is a lithium ion pack, and you do get two batteries, and like most of their vehicles, you're going to get around 20 minutes runtime off this one little battery pack. It does give you the charger for it as well. All these vehicles are ready to run. You just have to put batteries in the controller, charge up the batteries that come with them, and you're ready to go. Now, this one does have an actual steering servo, so that's more like a hobby grade than a toy grade. The dual motors, I don't know if that's probably more toy grade than hobby grade. I really don't know. And if you look in the front, it does have independent suspension in the front. But the output shafts, the little dog bones in here, are plastic. They are not metal, and that's more toy grade. Now, with that being said, I haven't broke one yet, and I was ramping off the roof, so they seem to be pretty durable. So I've had no issues with the front drive shafts to date. But if you flip this little car around, this is the part that really makes it like on the toy side. And this is a beginner RC. It is fast. It's as fast as that little 9300 that I have, but this is awesome for your beginner. This thing is, I think it's, what's the price we have on there? Let me bring it up. I'm sorry. I got to remember to switch my products. This is $74.99, and you can get 20% off of that. So you can't go wrong with that. You'll spend more than that at a big box store and get half the vehicle. And it'll probably have a hard bolt-on body that if it snaps, you're done. You can't get replacements for those things that you buy at those big chain stores. And that's something that DeeRC does different. They make parts available for their vehicles. And all their manuals, they always have, and this is the manual for this one, they always give you a parts list with part numbers. And they always give you their contact information so you can order said parts. Now, we'll get back to this thing. In the back, just because I say toy grade, it doesn't mean it's not worthy. It just means this is for your novice or your beginner. You're not going to go win a race at a competitive track with this. but you're going to have the time of your life in your yard, and somebody can definitely learn on this. And you probably have to turn the speed down on it because it is an adjustable throttle. You can turn it down to make it slower for your real new drivers. But anyway, in the back, it's a straight axle. It's not independent rear. It's just a solid axle. It has the dual shocks. The shocks are independent, but they are not oil filled. They are just air or just spring over shocks, I guess you could call them. But still a very nice vehicle. And I was driving this one through puddles and all kinds of things because I drove it on the same day that I shot the video for the 9300, and I had no issues with it cutting out, dying, getting wet, or anything like that. And this body's super cool, in my opinion. It's got a nice little spoiler on it. It's got the roll cage, and all that stuff is actually tied in together underneath like one big molded piece. But if you think you might like RC, or if you know somebody who's just getting into it, I probably couldn't recommend this one enough. It's a very good beginner RC, where like the 9300, it's got the steel drive shafts, it's got the steel output shafts. That's more of a intermediate level, or just a like I said, a basher in the front yard or backyard. You go through grass, dirt. This thing goes through the grass that the small one gets stuck in just because it has bigger tires. But it is four-wheel drive, so it's very, it's four-wheel drive capable. What can I say? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump over to the video of this little 9500E running. And if the video gets too boring and drags on for too long, I'll just skip to the roof part and you can see it bail off the roof. So let's get to that video real quick. That's going to be this video, I hope.
All right, so this one is the 9500E. Let's see what it can do.
Let me know if that sounds too
This
loud.
one is more of a toy grade one for sure, but way better than the toys you're going to get at the big box stores. Pretty quick. Let me fix the camera for you guys. Steering trim's off a little bit. Can we do donuts with this one?
What do y'all think of the little 9500? Seems pretty zippy. Or it might be small, like a
It does
beginner.
have dual motors, four-wheel drive.
Already said that, Steve.
It just won't break them loose. Let's do a grass test. Should we try the neighbor's super thick grass? You can see the line in the grass, how much thicker it is than mine, and mine's pretty thick, so no problem for this guy.
That's what she said.
Watch out for that wall. Okay, that is on max speed. Just want to make sure of that. Now it's really bouncy on the suspension because it's only springs, no oil-filled shocks.
Okay, I'm getting bored. Let's zoom up.
We almost broke them loose. Hydroplane.
Oh yeah, that was a good little wreck right there. It's so light.
Hydroplane.
On one side it would just whip it around. There's a couple speed runs. Not giving it no love, you can see that. I can honestly say,
Now we broke them loose a little bit.
this little car was
You just need to get warmed up a little bit.
and I thought it was going to be. Let's get to
Give it
the
a
roof.
durability test.
Throw it off the roof.
All right.
Gotta get ready for this. Don't worry. I'm gonna move the camera closer. You're gonna get a much better view of it bailing.
We're gonna ramp it off the roof. See how it holds up.
All right, let's get ready.
And just perfect. So a pretty tough little truck for being toy grade, being well under $100.
Jumped right off the roof. Let's see that again. Just one more time. Nose dive. Just like my last career. Except my career bottomed out a little bit harder than that.
And
Okay. So anyway, that's the little DeeRC 9500E. Another super cool little vehicle. Now we're gonna get from the ground and we're gonna take to the skies and we're gonna look at the DeeRC. And this is a beginner drone, but it's a D23. And this thing is like a UFO. And I do have video of this thing cut some flips. I won't make you sit there and paint you through the entire video. We are going to pull it out the box and look at it in person first. But there's also a 20% off code on this one as well. And this drone is $33.99. So take 20% off of that, right? That's $6.60 something cents or $6.70, something like that. So 27 bucks or so, a little less than that, you get a nice little drone. It has a 720p camera. It records to your phone, but it's really just more of a like a little in-house flyer or a front yard flyer. It's pretty quick too. It can fight some wind. I was flying it out when bad weather was blowing through on the same day that I was driving those other cars, and I had no trouble keeping it under control and in the yard. So, because some of those little smaller drones, you try to buzz them around, you just get a little gust of wind and you're knocking on your neighbor's door or jumping their fence. But anyway, we're going to look at the little D23. Or should we do it like this? We should say the DeeRC D23. Sorry, can't help myself. Anyway, here it is, the little drone itself. It does come with dual battery packs and a bunch of other stuff too. But here's your two little battery packs that you get. And the charger that you get with it is a dual charger. So you just plug this into a USB and you have the two outputs, one for each battery. So it's cool that you're only going to have to suck up one USB to charge both batteries. It also has this nice little handy dandy phone clip because like I said, it will connect to your phone and record 720p on your phone. You can take photos and you can take videos. And that just snaps on just like so. It's kind of unique, this one, because it is the white and blue. Most of the controllers are just black or gray, and it almost has the patriotic paint scheme. It's got the gray, red, and blue, and it has, as you can see, the propeller guards all the way around. Patrick Rogers, what's up, Uncle Pickles? Uncle Pickles is in the house. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a battery in this, and I'm going to turn it on because the real treat with this thing are the LEDs. We're going to turn it on. You can see them lighting up there. It's going to blink like that. And then to bind it with the controller, you just flip it up and flip it down. And we are now bound with this. And we can switch the light modes. This is light mode number 2. Daddy Pickles. That's a story for another day. But my kid's deadbeat dad is in the live. It's Patrick Rogers. He doesn't pay child support. Here's the next one. You can see it kind of rotates. And this one's kind of fun to fly at night because it is a sub 250 gram, so you don't have to register it. You don't have to have a license for this. And if you fly it at night, Your neighbors will probably call the police thinking there's a UFO. It's just fun to fly at night and have people looking up saying, what is that? But you have just the dual greens there, and then you go completely off. You can turn the LEDs off if you don't want them on, and then you just go back to the first mode. So you have just flashing, then you have alternating, then you have rotating, then you have just green in the back, and then you have off. So pretty cool little drone. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. Do I want to do this? I'm not gonna do that yet. But when you fly this on the controller right here, if you push the stick down, you heard it beep twice, that means you're in mode 2. If you hit a 3, you're in mode 3. Each one of these is a faster speed. So if you're a beginner, keep it in 1. If you are experienced, you can have it in 3. On the other side is your flip control. So when this is flying, you can hit that button and it'll start beeping. And then the very next direction that you push the stick, this little drone's gonna flip in that direction. So if you wanna do a front flip, you push the button down and then you just push it forward and it does a front flip. Back flip, push it down, push back. Side flip, push it down, push to whatever side you wanna flip to. And it's just a fun little thing to buzz around the house, cut flips in the house. You can get some footage that'll make you sick if you just sit there and keep doing flips. But it's just a good time little drone. They do give you a prop removal tool, and they give you some extra propellers. They give you a screwdriver for servicing your drone. And of course, a nice thorough manual. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn this little fella off, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to switch over to the video so you can kind of see how fast this little guy is and buzzing around the yard. And that's going to be this video right here. I hope I don't pull up last night's videos. Oh yeah, disclaimer. Patrick Rogers is really the uncle of my children. He doesn't owe me child support, and he's not really their dad, but don't tell my kids that. All right, let's go.
Okay, so here's a little DeeRC, the D23. We're going to turn the drone on. Turn the controller on. I'm going to set it on the ground to bind it. Let it go through its little cycle. Hit the off. You can see it's fairly easy to fly. See if we can get to do a flip right here in front of the camera. That's just pushing the right stick down.
Got pretty good speed. I was in speed number 3. I was doing it.
And what it does is, I forgot about this, is when you push the right stick down, you choose the direction. So if you push a stick forward, pretty cool. That's what happens when you hit it. So then do a circle around the tree. That's what happens when you hit a tree.
That was my fault. I crashed into the tree.
Gotta fly around the tree again.
I did it that time. I was just a little rusty.
Too low.
But anyway, you've seen enough. You've seen it fly around. It flies pretty quick. It's a nice, capable little drone. It's excellent for beginners to get you started. in the hobby of flying drones. And like I said, because it's so small, you're not required to have a license, or you don't have to register it or nothing like that. You can fly it anywhere you want to. You can fly it at night, you can fly it indoors, you can fly it outdoors. It's just a great little drone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this little fellow back in the box, because I have one more thing that I do want to show you, and it's not related to the DeeRC products, but I'm going to use it with my DeeRC products, and it's a pretty cool little device. If you ever watch some of the bigger people on the internet that do RC stuff, they have one, and I decided to up my game and get one myself, and it's going to be this thing right here, the Sky RC GNSS Performance Analyzer. Mark, you should be excited about this one, because we can test all of our vehicles and see how fast they go. And we're going to open this up and take a look at this little device, and then I'm going to explain a little bit more to you what it is. It does have a charging / transfer cable right here, and here is the actual device itself. Now you're probably wondering at this point, what is it? And this is just basically a GPS module that you can attach into your RC vehicles, whether it's a plane, helicopter, drone, cars, whatever, and it's going to give you all the data that you want about your RC car. It's going to tell you how fast you went. It's going to give you how fast you accelerated. It's going to tell you your top speed. It's going to tell you how far you traveled. It's going to tell you where you traveled. It's going to tell you how high you went. It's going to tell you how many G-forces the vehicle experienced while you were wrecking because you stink at driving. It's going to give you all the information that you need. And it's really, really cool, because I'm just curious, like if I get an RC that says, I don't know what I have around me. If it says 30 kilometers an hour, we're going to find out if it does 30 kilometers an hour, because I want to know. If I jump off a roof, I want to know how many G-forces that vehicle felt when it smacked into the ground. So, and I'm going to hide this in my wife's car so I can tell how crazy she's driving. Not really. But anyway, it's a super cool little device. It is $79.99. I don't have any promos for this because I just had to buy this outright myself, but it's going to be a pretty valuable tool for my drones and my RCs and things like that. I'm looking forward to using it, and it does connect to your phone via Bluetooth. So what you do is you put it in your car and you drive around and do whatever you're going to do, and then when you get back, you just upload the information from this to your phone, and then you can just look in your phone and check out all your stats and specs and things like that. So it's going to be a super cool, fun little thing to have for these RCs. And there's going to be many more RCs to come. Wednesday, I have 2 more coming from DeeRC. And so we're going to go over all these vehicles again. And I'll try to shorten these videos up a little bit, so it's just more of action and the highlights, and we don't have to listen to all the boring parts, like parts that I'm in. And we'll unbox those 2 as well. So I like doing those unboxings so you can see everything firsthand as it falls out the box and see exactly what you're going to get, and then we can share that first impression. And I'm hoping to do that Wednesday night. If not Wednesday, it'll be Thursday. And the next step I'm going to do, now that I'm kind of getting the sound thing figured out, I'm going to switch, and I'm going to, I don't know if you can see this right here, but this is a GoPro on a mic boom, and I'm rigging this up to be an overhead cam or an overhead camera. That way, whenever I'm going over these RCs, I can switch to that camera and you can get a more up close look of the insides, and I'm not having to hold it up and trying to get this camera to focus on the parts I want you to see. So that's something that you can look forward to on my future streams. So does anybody have any questions about the 2104, which is the super fast, super fly RC boat that does 30 plus miles an hour? And we are going to put this in there just to find out exactly how fast it is. We have the little 9300. If you missed it earlier, this is like a little 18th scale or 16th scale. He's a tiny little fellow, but he'll keep up with most 10th scales. This is close to a hobby grade vehicle. He has a steel drive shaft connecting the front and rear differentials. You could upgrade the motor if you wanted to. He has a steering servo right here. It's got the electronics here. It's got the stainless steel output shafts or dog bones in the front and the back. Four-wheel independent spring suspension. There is no oil, but it's just a very capable and one of my favorite little vehicles that I have because it's great for smaller spots. If you like to bash in your neighborhood, get this out. You're not going to do a nitro 8 scale in your neighborhood, but you can take this out anytime and have a blast. And then we got this little fella right here. This was more on the toy grade side. This is the 9500E, but this thing is just as fast as this. It is four-wheel drive. It has coil-over shocks all the way around. This is the one I ramped off my roof, and it landed flat on the nose. A complete fail landing on my part because I just didn't hit the gas enough when it went off the roof. But as you can see, it's completely fine. This thing is only 74 bucks, 75 bucks. Plus, if you look, I'll bring it back up. Right there, it's $74.99. Plus, I've already loaded a promo code for you that's going to give you an additional 20% off. So that's quite a steal for this little RC truck right here. So overall, nice little vehicles. They give you spare parts. Spare parts are available. Some are more hobby grade, some are more toy grade, but either way, they're a good time. They have things for beginners. They have things for more seasoned professionals. The little boat right here is so quick and turns so awesomely. It's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. I mean, I have no emotions and I smiled when I drove it, so what does that say? So just overall, really good vehicles. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap up this live. It's time for me to go eat dinner, and I'm going to be back in the next day or two at the latest. I'm going to try to do multiple of these a week, and I've done a lot of DeeRC stuff recently, but I also do home products, and I have other RCs that I do. I have RC construction equipment. I have 8 scale crawlers. I have all kinds of things that I'm going to be bringing out. So if you want to see some of those other lives, just follow me and you'll be notified when I'm doing another one. With that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful day.